Hello. So in today's video, I want to talk about one of my favorite parent-child relationship keys as a world changer parent, and that is spending one-on-one time with my children. And I call it the special time with each of my children. And do you know why I call it the special time? Because it is a time dedicated to paying real attention, full attention, and being attuned to each of my children. There I get to understand their pains, I get to communicate with them, I get to relate with them one-on-one, and this gives me the chance to know what are the concerns of my children, each of them. It gets to help me understand their potentials, help me to know what they are really valuing, what they value in the moment, what their own personal values are, what their struggles are. You know, each of my child is different, and it's just gets to help me to realize that this is how this child thinks. You get to know how your child views the world. You get to know how your child can answer the real life questions, real life problems. That is very special to me. That's very unique to me. So this time that I call the peculiar time, the special time, is a time that's just 15 minutes of my time a day with a child. Sometimes that particular child just wants to, communicate about whatever is happening, then the child just keeps talking. Sometimes I don't ask questions, I just stay and I listen, and from one thing I'm able to get to probe in and then ask direct questions as it unfolds. I don't try to force a conversation out of it. Sometimes it's just my child sitting down by herself, wanting to just be pampered. She's sitting on my lap reading a book. Sometimes she's just sitting on the couch and she's singing. Sometimes for the youngest child, we are just doing nothing. We are just doing nothing. In fact, we're not saying anything, but we are together. And she knows that I am present at that moment. And she knows that I am there at that moment. And I let her know that if there's anything she wants to talk about, she can talk to mommy about it. And I treasure that moment because that was when I got to understand some things about my children. Each of them, you see, they are all different. All your children are not the same, and you want to be able to, find time to connect one-on-one, to relate one-on-one. That's how you have an advanced parent-child relationship, such that it helps you to comprehend each of your children. It helps you to understand their life. It helps you to, spend quality time with them. And if your child's love language is quality time, then you begin to understand how your child wants to be loved, what makes your child feel loved. You begin to want to do the things that your child wants to do, and it will give you more insights. This is not just about doing things that your child wants to do, but getting to understand your child for who your child is. There is so many advantages of relating with children one-on-one. That's when they will ask you questions, what if questions, especially teenagers. I work with teenagers, and I have seen teenagers coming up to you and they'll say, mommy, my friend said this. They're trying to see what your response will be, whereas the situation is actually about them. But they'll say, mom, my friend did this, and what do you think she should have done? How do you think she should have handled things? And if you are a parent who does not know how to hide your true feelings, I'm talking in terms of anger, the negative feelings that you have towards the particular question that your child is asking. If you cannot control your emotions, if you have not mastered your emotions to that point, if you're not emotionally intelligent as a parent, and you flare up, you are angry, you're like, oh my god, how could your friend have done that? Do you mean your friend is pregnant? Do you mean your friend had sex without protection? Your child may be talking about his or herself, and you don't even know. Some of us really think we know our children, but we really don't know them, because we don't do the things that would make us get to really understand them, to get to really know them. The way we react to mistakes is a very big pointer to the kind of what's the word now, ideology that we have around parenting. And when we address mistakes with the wrong emotions backing it up, and we make our children feel less worthy, what happens is they shrink. They get into the flight or fight mode. They are defensive, and before you know it, they don't get to talk to you again. So the way we relate with our children really, really matters. They would rather go out there to talk with their friend who seems to get them. And that for me is very, very dangerous. Sometimes you just want to sit with your children and just laugh. You just want to sit with them and just laugh, because it means more to your child that you sit back and you're laughing about some things, right? And I really feel like, yes, that is how it should be, because if only we know how much time and the things that what's the word now, that we can unfold, we can discover, we can uncover while we have conversations with our children, we would give more attention to them. Another thing is that you can now use those periods to gather information about what is most important to what you need to address in the life of your child. You know, as parents, we see gaps, and we are trying to fill those gaps. The time of special time is not for is for information gathering. It's not for really tackling the problems or the issues that arise, but for information gathering. And then asking, if it was you, what would you have done? You turn the tables and make your child give you the response that they had in mind. So in order to spend quality time with our children, you know, we have to be able to create that time in our homes. Create that time in your home. Create that time in such a way that you pick a convenient time, a time that is, it doesn't have to be daily, because if you have multiple children, you may not be able to, you know, meet up, but you can set out a day for each of your child. You can say, okay, I have 3 children, so I'm going to do Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays for each of my children, and I'm going to have a conversation, and it's going to be a regular habit that I'm going to have. That time I call special time with each of them. This time it's not the 3 of them going out with you, it's not the 3 of them sitting down on the couch with you, it's each of them. And what happens is that you begin to ask your child. You don't want a situation where you are interrupted. It's just you and your child. So find a convenient time. Find a convenient time. Schedule it. Put it into your calendar. And then prioritize it. Prioritize it. I know that a lot of things will begin to pop up. That's when challenges will come up that would, you know, affect how you get to do these things. But if you place priority on it, then you will see that it will actually work. So set it as a goal for yourself this year, that intentionally, deliberately, I'm going to spend special time with my own children, and it is going to be consistent. There's not going to be any kind of interruptions. There will be no limitations. I'm going to do it because I am committed to this parent-child relationship kit that will make me a world-changer parent. And you decide the timing, knowing that, you know, maybe it's 15 minutes. So it doesn't matter where and what day of the week you chose. One thing is you're going to spend 15 minutes, and that 15 minutes is a commitment. It is a commitment, and let your expectations be very clear that you are going to, you know, set this time out for each of your child every day. So sometimes you may want to use a timer, sometimes you may not want to time it, but other times, because especially when the children are younger and they are in their early childhood, they would not want to leave your presence. If they are really enjoying the time, they really want you to be there with them. They really want you to be engaged with them. And one thing I have seen over time is that using a timer helps children get adjusted to time limits, and then they get to honor time. So they don't get angry about the special time when you say, I have to move, it's time to do something else. Do you understand what I mean? And what that does is just help their brain to expect that, okay, there is a time to start something and there's a time to finish it. And pay attention, actively listen. Don't be on your phone, don't be doing something else. That's not the time for you to read. Don't dominate the talks. Instead of teaching during special time, Discover your child's feelings, like I have said. Discover how they are thinking, discover their opinions, discover their imaginations, discover what really, really matters to them. That's how you get to know all the things that you really, really need to know as a parent on this journey. And I feel like that is the time for you to be able to end with transitions, your child will hate ending special time. Like I said, they'll play all day, they'll like to talk with you all day, they'll like to just laugh all day, they'll like to just do something that means something to them all day. However, with transitions, you make time limits easier, and to help them move into the next agenda of the day, you are able to like pretend that something is you make it playful. You can pretend that you're going on a flight, you're going on a cruise, and then that's how you transition out of that. And that is what the special time is all about. I would really like to hear from you. If you got value from this video, please put a comment down below. Leave a comment. I'm going to read and reply to you. Subscribe to this channel, like and share. Thank you.